Hello, Lafayette. This is Ken Obasi Leslie again, and I'm in my studio. You know, it looks kind of empty a little bit. You know, I've been working in my house. Doing some painting. Painting walls, which can be kind of boring, but hey, nevertheless, it's something that I find that I have to do. So primarily, I'm here. I'm uploading another video, and I'm gonna do a reading. Today is the 28th. I tried to upload a video before, but it didn't happen. So here it is again. Here I am again. Doing a tarot reading from the my Orisha deck, and so we're gonna just kind of deal with the energy that's in the ether and the air right now. Things that are happening. Some of these concepts and ideas will apply to you, or apply to me, or whatever. But nevertheless, here we go. And of course, as I love to do, got my music in the background. McCoy Tyner, which is one of my late great favorite piano players. The piece is called Voices. It's a piece from way back, and well, hey, here we go. Just relax. Okay, let me grab my cards there. I'm gonna pull 4 cards. It's just from the Orisha tarot deck, and basically, I love, like I always tell you, I love my deck. There's a deepness about it. It just goes into so many different realms, or whatever. And okay, the first card that I'm pulling here is there you go. Can you see it? Legba. He's a Yoruba god of the crossroads, and he's about he's the energy of getting things done, and he's the messenger. He's it's kind of like if you can imagine the wires and the radio waves and different things that travel and go from one situation to another. He embodies that kind of concept, that kind of energy. He's the patron of all doors and of all roads. Therefore, the magical keys to open the most inviolable locks, and the permit to walk in different paths that humanity will travel belong to him. So in other words, it's just that he's the crossroads, he's the choice in terms of which path. So you can almost like think of him in a sense of the different dimensions that you can go into based upon choice, because everything that happens in our lives is based upon choice. And so if we make a good choice and make a bad choice, actually, when you think about good or bad, Yeah, of course there are some bad choices that you can make, especially in terms of being on this earth, and but you know, but each choice has a road, has a path. So sometimes if you think that you made a bad choice based upon your observation or whatnot, there's things that you can do in order to make it a good choice. Sometimes you can learn from that choice or that path that you are partaking. His image is placed behind or close to the entrance of the house, since Elegwa is the warden and the prosecutor of the village, town, cities, houses, and so on. He is made up of the soil of 3 or 7 crossroads, water from 3 or 4 or 7 rivers, rain collected 3 or 7 times during the 3rd or 7th month, or in 3 or 7 months of the year, with water from 3 or 7 seas, 3 or 7 different beaches, sand from 3 or 7 dunes, cement preferably requested as a construction site, holy water. From there are 7 churches, bits of silver and gold, seashells, coins, etc. The person who shapes the legua knows the secret to prepare a legua and has a perfect knowledge to do so. To do it after many years of study and preparation. His specialty is generally acknowledged and respected. He knows that for each high orisha there is a certain legua, and the shape, the color, materials, numbers vary in each case. He is the orisha who first receives offerings, the most being sweets, tobacco, coconut. His preferred number is 3, and during the days of this number is 3, 12 equals 1 plus 2 equal 3, 21 equals 2 plus 1 equal 3. He has greater influence in Ashe. He has greater power. Some do not know him under the name Elegua and call him differently. Some of them call him Bara, although the content and meaning are the same. His most popular and well-known syncretism is St. Anthony and St. Joseph. His color is red, or red and black, like the checkerboard. His day of the week is Monday. Petitions to Elegua are generally for any kind of opening, but preferably they relate to the requester's level of income. This card is related to jobs, progress in one work or one's job, abundant productivity, profitable advertising campaign. Your message will be well received. Tempting and practicable offers. Vitality. When this card is badly influenced by the other cards, unemployment, lack, work, fatigue, tiredness, loss of energy, abolia, incorrect interpretations of messages, misunderstood communications. So basically, he is about, that energy of productivity, and he's about making the right choices. Of course, making the right choices based upon being in the right state of mind, And again, like I said, he's the crossroads. He's that place of choice, that place of making the right decision, or making a decision, whatever that decision lead you to. So, that's a Legba, or pronounced a Legwa, and again, like I said, he is the energy of choice. He's the energy of making that right choice. The next card I have pulled is the Man. The Man. A man naked, just as he was born, represents his essence. His position is therefore like that of a five-pointed star, because five are his senses. 5 directions in which he moves: north, south, west, east, and center. The 5 elements he needs to live, the 5th being his soul or spirit. He directs his 5 terminal points: the head, 2 upper extremities, and 2 lower extremities, to the 5 points of the star to reach the 5 lines of the pentagram, and thus the spiritual dimension. Because as a symbol, a star of 5 points represents the central manifestation of light, or the mystical center. The star is a magical symbol that has been with us from the beginning of time. And in all our conceptions and works, our ideas and dreams, a star is an image of dreams, or the idealization of a dream, or an intense and fervent desire. It is a symbol of energy pleasing to the eye. It represents the star that led the 3 magi from east to Bethlehem. The 5-pointed star in this position indicates balance and strength in striving for human perfection. It represents good. When it's upside down, the man standing on his head, the star represents incongruity and damnation. We don't want to go there. The symbol is completely adverse and represents total chaos. This card is about health, about faith and hope, favorable prospects, qualities of the soul, creation, inspiration, creativity, mentalism, psychicism. So, it's just that we're talking about, again, being on the right frequency. We're talking about meditation, and we can go back to Elegua, and, because the star is almost kind of like a crossroads, so there's a relationship between the crossroads and the spirit of man, and and the 5-pointed star, the pentagram, so it's just that one of the things that are happening that I see in the world is, as long as you do right, it's gonna be right, we're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to fight for what is right. You have to be strong, be in the right head, and so basically this is where we're at now. It's just that not giving up, just say, hey, it can be done, and know it can be done. It's the power of knowing. This is what this represents. The next card that I pulled is the 7 of water. We're talking about a water sign now. I hope you can see that. Okay. An undefined figure is looking down from the cliff. The sea or the river is divided into 7 layers, represented by 7 tones. a man drops a brazil into the water as a offering so that his requests will be satisfied and answered. The 7 states of man are in confusion, and his 7 chakras of energy centers are altered. Therefore, only a completely dark shape can be seen in spite of the fact that it is daytime. The summit represents a place of preeminence. He would like to attain or keep by demanding answers or making requests in a manner perhaps not appropriate. Jesus said, "Ask and it shall be given." But this does not mean that whims of earthly ambitions will be satisfied. Another of the saying, man shall not live by bread alone. You know, and a lot of times we tend to always ask, we want to hit that number, we want to have this big house, we want to have that nice shiny car, we want to have this or we want to have that, blah, 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 and which, hey, there's essentially nothing wrong with it, but basically, we first have to be in the right state. I mean, in other words, there's a saying that be careful for what you ask for because you might get it. And you might get it and it may not be satisfying. It may be more of a struggle than it was before you struggled to try to get it. So basically, sometimes, when you throw that down to, you throw that net down to catch whatever you want to catch, you might find something that you don't want, So, so this is about unrealized dreams, excessive fantasy or selfishness that leads to ask a lot without giving much. Do not ask for what you cannot give or demand what you cannot demand. Do not promise what you are not sure to fulfill. Illusions that fade away as a result of selfishness. Spiritual persecution, blackish aura, attacked astral body. So, this is that basically, this is kind of a warning in a sense or whatever, is that, we have to be realistic in terms of because like sometimes, we even make the mistake and say, well, hey, my purpose on earth is this and my purpose on earth is that, which, your purpose may be something completely different than what you think it is. Just like in the movie Soul, you thought his purpose was a jazz musician, but his purpose was greater and higher than what he thought or desired within his own heart, So, so basically, don't get off balance in terms of things, because like sometimes, we could get so far out, in terms of what we want, that we forget what we need. And the last card here that I'm pulling, because I only pulled 4 cards, is the 9 of water, So a couple of the cards that I pulled were water cards, put 1 man card, and the first one was the Elegba, the crossroads. So this is the water card, and this card is, from what I'm looking at, is kind of closely related to the previous card. According to the Hebrew Kabbalah, the nice Sifra called Yesod, it represents the moon. This explains the 9 moons in the sky, full of stars. Fishermen have thrown their nets into the sea and will catch an abundance of fish when they bring in the net. Prosperity and profits in love. We begin to harvest the fruits of good sowing. The mind goes hand in hand with the heart. There's no abundance between the emotions. There's no imbalance between the emotions and the mind. We are very close to complete happiness. Our physical welfare is evident when these factors are found in combination. Prosperity and profits. In love, we begin to harvest the fruits of good sowing. The mind goes hand in hand with the heart. There's no imbalance between the emotions and the mind. We are very close to complete happiness. Our physical welfare is evident when the factors are found in combination. So basically, as you can see, this card is about reaping what you sow, and that net is pretty full, as you can see, but along with right thinking, around with making the right decisions, and along with having the right spirit and being at the right frequency, it's just all these things will come to pass, and you will pull in your net an abundance of fish. It's, again, this is the 9 of water. You got 9 moons, and in the sky full of stars. So we're as time goes on, it's just that I will do some videos dealing with the Hebrew Kabbalah, and this is I do have a book on that, but it's just I haven't done extensive reading on that. But anywho, it's just that that is the reading for the night. One of the pieces that I'm working on, and actually this piece is Babalu Aye, which is he is the energy of healing. And some of the images that I do have there are images that indicate alchemy, the alchemy of putting things together and creating what you call the energy of healing, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, or whatever, and so it's just and that was one of the pieces I was working on. So anywho, I was just kind of wanted to kind of run my mouth about some things, and I hope that you enjoyed the reading, for the April the 28th. It's almost the end of the month, and everything. We get ready to run into May. So, but just think about some of those energies that I have spoken about in terms of the reading, and see how that they're going to be applied to yourself. Thank you again. Adabo.